In this movie I'm going to show you how to import this PDF file, how to quickly make it into a mesh, and how to create the contours so that they actually go directly on top of the mesh, as you can see here. So stay tuned, let's get started. It's such a quick trick, it probably should be illegal. Here's my site plan, so I'll pull that in. I need to check to make sure it's the right size, so I'm going to calibrate this. We're going to go, select it first. So, edit, reshape, and resize. I use this a lot, and I'm going to resize my site. Now I don't know if it's the right scale or not, so I'm going to zoom in. I want to click on that corner there, zoom out, come up to this corner here. It's 20.61 meters. I need to remember that. Click at this corner here, start moving. 2610 meters, so 2610 millimeters, enter. So I now know this is calibrated the right size. There we are. So I've got my entire PDF file. Now what I need to do is I need to start using some of these tools here. I need to create some site boundaries. I need to create a mesh, and what I'm going to do is to right click on here. This is so cool, this one, explode into current view, don't keep the original, okay. And I've now got this as a polygon or a polyline. So I've exploded my PDF. It was a vector-based PDF, which means it had lines in it. Now I can use my CI tools. These make it so quick. So create boundaries from polygon. Okay, there they all are. I'm going to change those. These boundary objects want to be a custom daylight angle. And now where I live, it's 3 meters on the boundary, 45 degrees with an offset of 1 meter. And so there I've got all that information already. Now I can go up to here and I can go CI tools again, sites, and I need to create a mesh from the boundary. And there's my mesh from the boundary. It's so quick. Now I'm going to spend a little bit of time. I'm going to go around to each of these corners and just check the elevation of each of these corners here. So the elevation of that should be So now what I need to do is to bring in my contour lines through here. So I'm going to use my, first of all I have to select my mesh. It's selected now. You can see here it's selected. I need to get my mesh tool, and then I can use my space bar and I can click on that polyline. Okay, so now that I've got that contour line, what I'm going to do is to click on this one, just check that. That should be 13 meters, and I'm going to choose apply to all, and it should apply to all the ones on that contour line. So my site is still selected, my mesh tool, and space bar that one, fit to user ridges, and let's get into that one. So select that point. This should be 13500. Now just notice that only the nodes on that contour line is selected, so I can choose apply to all. This contour line's there by mistake, so I'm going to ignore that one. So choose my mesh tool, and spacebar that one, fit to user ridges, zoom in, and click on that one. That should be 14 meters exactly. Apply to all. I've got the next one, so select that, select my mesh tool, spacebar on that line. Let's say, so we got that one, 14500, apply to all. Sometimes you've got to be careful that you've actually got two dots quite close together, so just look out for those. Back to this one, mesh tool, spacebar, fit to user ridges. I'm just going to do a couple of them now. There's not many left, and there's one just up here as well. Okay, so now I'm going to go through and check this one. So that height there, click on this one, and that should be 15 meters exactly. Apply to all. This one, click on one of those, 15500, apply to all, and this one, 16 meters. Cool, just check it in 3D, make sure it looks okay. There's nothing untoward. Looks like I've got a great contours there. There's nothing sort of unusual. There's something a little weird here. So this one here's a little strange. There's actually two different heights here. So I need to go back and look for those. So there's in here somewhere, there's 2 points. There they are there. Now I can click on that one and I can move that node to that point and it should get rid of it for me. So when we go back to the 3D, that's it, it's fixed it. You might notice it's a shallow slope on this side because the contours are far apart, steeper on this side because they're closer together. That's fantastic. So I've got mostly what I want. Let's go back to the ground floor. So I'm going to select my mesh again, CI tools, and before I do this I do need to change my settings. So I need to send this mesh, which is currently on ground floor, I need to send it to my sea level. That puts it at that point. I need to select all of these objects here. These are all my boundary objects. I'm going to use an old trick, which is to select the object tool, then go Command A or Control A, select all, and then I can send all of those again to my sea level. Let's go back to my sea level and have a look. So there it is there, everything's there. So object tool still, select all. So that selects all my boundary objects. They want to be on the Des site boundaries. Cool. And also Control T. I really want these to be visible on the home story and one story up so I can see them when I create my site plan on my ground floor. So there it is there. You can see those very small objects in there. These polylines are actually quite useful later on, so I'm going to leave those, but this text that I've got here, not as useful. So if I select my text tool, select all, and then I can go Control T and set the size of that text. At the moment it's quite big, 27 millimeters, so I'm going to make it 5 millimeters. It'll get quite small. You'll also notice there are some white boxes here. So there are some white boxes in these areas here. Where the contour line, there it is there, that's one of those white boxes. They will be better if I delete them. They were just boxes that were around the text. And you can see the cursor changes when I get near those boxes. This text here is going to be better if I put it up in this area here out of the way. I'm going to put all of my contour text up here on outside my site. So let's just put it all there. Just this contour line is no longer needed. Get rid of that. I didn't want to use it anyway. This is my 14 meter contour line there. 13 there, and I should really rotate these, and later on I'll rotate these to the correct angles. And there's a 12.5 somewhere, this one here, bring that one and put it there as well. This bit of text here, I don't need it. Just have a look to make sure you're not selecting something that you don't want. And don't forget to use this method, which will only select objects that are totally enclosed. So I'm using this shape here, this cursor. So I got my scale at 1 to 50. Now for printing this it's going to be 1 to 200. You'll now notice that the text has grown substantially. I don't need that text. I don't need these big blocks of text on here. So now I can start to select my mesh. Let's go back to my sea level, select my mesh. I'm going to create my envelope. Again, using CI tools, I'm going to place my building envelope, and it creates a three-dimensional site for me. So this was really cool, this ability to create your 3D site, and now I see my restrictions and I can start to build my house. For this project I need to change my settings. I need, between the sea level and the next floor up, I need that 14.5 meters. Now what that means is that when I go to my ground floor and start drawing, it will be exactly at the right height. You watch if I put a slab in here. Just put in a quick slab. Let's look at this in 3D, and you can see there's my slab at the correct elevation relative to my building. So there's a couple of tricks in here that you can use even if you're not using the CI tools. Once you've got your mesh, using that trick with the space bar, it works really well and it gives you your contours. It's fantastic. If you really got something out of this movie, hey, but give me a thumbs up, give me a like, so that other people can find this movie more easily. If you really got something out of this movie and you really want to support me, what about a super thanks? It really helps me to carry on making these movies. Thanks for watching.